Hello all! So, Manga Sunday, and well, we've only got one chapter, so let's dive right into it. It's actually quite a good one. No fighting, but pretty interesting developments. So, we carry on with the ongoing cover story of Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest's Surrogate Pilgrimage, and now we're on volume 13, the rebuilding of Odin Castle and Foreman they've got weird names. Minatomo's disappearance. This chap, the one who was Frankie's boss when he was undercover. So that's interesting. It sometimes means something because obviously Pudding got kidnapped in one of these cover stories. So then we go on, and we have the Navy reacting to the end of Egghead, talking about getting the Seraphim to the ships once they're charged up. As for the Sea Beasts, and then Rob Lucci and Kaku come back into the frame. They ask where Stussy is. He says he killed her. I don't remember him killing her. So maybe he's just saying that to save face. Wasn't Stussy with the Straw Hats? I can't remember. I've got such a bad memory. But we are now in possession of what we came for. York, Punk Records, the power plant, and the Mother Flame. So Saturn, for now, is happy with how everything's going, but they're very unhappy that even though they executed, they sent 9 admirals, executed a Buster call, they couldn't stop the Straw Hats and Jory Bonnie from escaping the island. And they talk about heading after them to Elbaf, but Saturn immediately says, don't bother with Elbaf. This is, if there's any failure to blame this on, it was the colossal failure to envision Vegapunk's broadcast message. So they talk about how they failed to stop the message, but then that they were aided by the Iron Giant and how it's bitterly ironic, and we'll see in a moment why that's bitterly ironic. So we go 200 years into the past. Saturn's alive, and this is quite relevant and will become important in one of the coming pages. But notice it's very small, but he looks like he hasn't aged at all in 200 years. So he's an old man there, he's an old man now. But they talk about how the giant represents the future and it will prove useful to the military. So he allows them to continue researching it and not destroy it. And they're happy, they get to research it. And for 200 years it never budged an inch until now, where it defended Luffy. And then forget his name. They're going to say his name in a moment. But one of the vice admirals asks, if he's considering this a failure, does that mean Vegapunk's statement was true? And very angry Saturn immediately just does something to Doberman. That's it, Vice Admiral Doberman, and he is out for the count. Very extreme, and well, it's how much they didn't want this information getting out. So we go to the next page. They're talking about getting the medical team for the Vice Admiral, obviously. And then what's going on here? Puff, 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 puff. Grrr. Something's going on around Punk Records. Inside the lab. Island Cloud. Oh no! And York's about to get fucked over, so haha, get wrecked, York. No one likes you. The Island Clouds are multiplying. Has the cloud plant gone out of control? It's Edison! He was supposed to be dead in the Fabria phase. So, Edison's alive. Oops, busted. So, he's not actually dead. She tries to snipe him. Nice little fan service shot there. And... damn it, he tricked me. Well, there goes Punk Records, as Punk Records just floats away. So they don't get Punk Records after all. Get dunked on. Oh, I love it when these guys fail. So then we go to Marijoa. They're talking about, was Vegapunk's story true? Where is Akainu? And how will he make good for his failure with Kuma? And they're saying, well, the world may sink under the sea, but it shouldn't matter the Holy Land, of course, because it's at the highest point in the world. Oh, and here we get to the point where, if I don't hate the the celestial dragons enough. Let's give them more reason to hate them. It's not enough food. I wanted beef and you gave me fish. And so I'm going to shoot this quality chef for giving you the only food that's available. And they're talking about a food shortage. Oh no, I couldn't have one of my meals and a snack. Oh, it's a prisoner's diet. We'll starve. Oh, whoever's in charge of food, put whoever's in charge of food to death. It's mismanagement. If there's no punishment, the lower classes will think this laziness is acceptable. So yeah, the celestial dragons just suck even more. Like, we didn't already hate them enough. So then you go to the Chamber of Power in Marijua. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. What do you think you're doing here, Garling? It's where all the elders are. And he said he's been ordered here. Orders from whom? Know your place. And he announces that he is assuming the role of Godhead of Science and Defense. Now, this is very important because there are only 5 elders, and there are already meant to be 5 elders. What does this mean? You mean the world we've thrown into chaos on a level we have never seen before. Let us do the utmost to improve it together, my fellow elders. So what does this mean? Why is he one of the elders? Isn't there already 5? Well, we'll now see. Saint Saturn, he's in pain. He's clearly in pain. So you see him struggling here very badly. It looks very grotesque. It's going to look amazing in the anime. Hurry, get the medical team. What's happening to him? And they're saying this is an emergency. Nothing must happen to the highest authority in the world. They think he's sick, and whatever's happening is just continuing. There's nothing they can do. More and more, he's looking really gnarly there. And he's sort of, have I been? It's like, what's he talking about? They're shocked. Looking really messed up there. And then he realizes it's IMU. Saturn, why did you allow Joy Boy to escape? Speaking of IMU, we just got IMU's voice in the anime today, and they did this distorted, could be male, could be female voice, very unsure. He's like, begs for mercy. And there's some sort of explosion. And then all you're left with is there's a collapse, an explosion, and all that's left is a skull. He just gets killed. Completely wasted. Now, this was an interesting thing, and that's why I said that 200 years ago, him being the same age was very poignant. And I saw someone online make the suggestion that perhaps all the elders have been bestowed immortality and IMU just turned it off, remotely even. That's the amount of power IMU holds. It's insane. And it would make more sense than IMU just being able to turn someone to bones, because how do you combat someone with that power? But just turning off someone's immortality, that makes a bit more sense. It would also explain their hyper regeneration. So then we get to the next page. It's all the deceased Vegapunks now talking, which is an interesting one. They're talking about how they couldn't steal the lava phase because York blocked them, but their mental waves will reach anywhere, and York still has access. But they say it's better than physically handing it over to her. Let's work together to manage this genius brain until the day humanity can wrangle it for themselves. So they all maintain punk records, but they'll say it will take about 500 years. And as far as they're aware, Vegapunk is dead, so Vegapunk technically isn't dead, but we'll find out why in a second here. And they're like, ching, there. And they've built themselves a new body. And they're all the Vegapunks are together in one mind now. And I guess that's Edison, isn't it? I always get Edison and Pythagoras all mixed up, but it's his head, and they're all kind of inside. And he's taken the spare body parts and fashioned himself like a Frankenstein Vegapunk body. And they're like, oh yeah, throw away the extra York parts. And they're like, sure, whatever. I think those are the York parts, whatever. So they've got spare parts, which is just kind of dumb, but whatever. I don't mind little dumb things. And hello, Weatheria. That's where obviously Nami studied during the time skip. And, oh, what do you want? I thought you were dead. And what's he saying? I've already forgotten what they said here, actually. Oh, never mind. You don't find out. So now we're in Kamabaka Queendom, where the revolutionaries are hiding out. And talking about the... are we going to die? But I don't want to. I choose life. I'll swim to live. So basically, in the history no one knows about, there was a massive war during the Void Century, and the use of ancient weapons during that war caused the world to sink 200 meters into the sea. So that this is all the revelations from Vegapunk's message. And they're talking about whoever manages to get the One Piece and becomes king of the pirates will have that power at their command. Which is an ominous thing to say, because you think about it. Luffy having that responsibility would be fine. He wouldn't use it, but Blackbeard certainly would, and would be a threat. We don't know about Shanks. We assume Shanks is a good guy, but we don't really know much about him, to be honest. Buggy's another question entirely, or Cross Guild, I guess. So then they talk about a world sinking to sea. The Celestial Dragons won't matter too much because of their high elevation on the red line. And they're talking about, I don't know what these are, Tequila Wolf, Vodka Wolf, Rum Wolf, Bourbon Wolf, other than, these mega structures named after blooming alcohol and wolves that they've had slaves constructing going back 700 years. It's like they were planning for it. Oh, my thing's glitched, sorry. There we go, sorry about that. All these things now hold a meaning, yes, because he just had to go and say it. Oh no! The problem, Vegapunk, is that not everyone who believes your warning is going to prepare for this looming disaster peacefully. And this is, well, Dragon says, this demands a swift revolution because it won't be long before the people of the world begin to fight over safe ground. To be continued, end of chapter. Now, we'd always love it when Dragon makes a big claim and then he doesn't do anything. He hasn't really done anything since he saved Luffy in Rogue Town, but maybe he's actually going to do something for a change. Well, we won't find out until next time. So look forward to that. I certainly will. Catch you all later. Bye now.